Sajjan Gohel is the International Security Director for the Asia Pacific Foundation. He joins me via Skype from London. Sajjan, no claim of responsibility, but who do you think was behind this?
Well, we can definitely presume that this was an act of political violence, using an incendiary device designed to maim and kill. Now, the ideological narrative is yet to be decided, but based on the fact that we know that one device went off, the other one was prevented, seemed to be suggest that this was coordinated, multiple. That certainly bears the hallmarks of a transnational terrorist group. There will be suspicion that that could fall on groups like ISIS or Jabhat Fatah al-Sham, which is the former al-Qaeda affiliate. Both groups have targeted or vocally wanted to target Russia in the past. They've deemed Russia to some degree as a higher target than some Western countries. But we'll have to wait and see for the Russian authorities to come out with a more definitive answer.
Sajjan, what about extremists, the role they play in the Caucasus? Certainly they have contributed to terror attacks in the past. Are they going to be looked at as a possibility?
Well, one cannot rule out the role of the Caucasus, especially from some of the provinces in Russia based in Chechnya, Ingushetia, Dagestan. As you mentioned, individuals, radical extremists from those regions in the past have been accused of carrying out attacks in Russia. We know that some have been behind suicide attacks at other transportation hubs in Russia in the past, at some of the metro stations in Moscow, at the airport in Moscow itself. And we know that some 7,000 Russian nationals have joined ISIS and Jabhat Fatah al-Sham. Now, some potentially may intend to come back to carry out attacks, similar challenge that Western countries have faced.
Sajjan, what do you make of the timing and the significance of St. Petersburg, the fact that Russian President Vladimir Putin was not far making some remarks?
The timing is very significant, and perhaps that is why this attack was planned when it was, because, as was mentioned, President Vladimir Putin was visiting St. Petersburg. He was supposed to be meeting with his counterpart from Belarus, President Lukashenko. It's also very symbolically very important because St. Petersburg is the home of Vladimir Putin. It's his power base, and in many ways this attack was designed to upstage his presence and possibly a symbolic strike at where President Putin has a lot of influence.
And do you expect a tough response from Putin?
I suspect there will be, because this may set a dangerous precedent in Russia in terms of the intention of carrying out an attack. It could lead to follow-up plots, and we've seen this now in other countries. You have one attack which then leads to multiple plots, whether it's in France or Belgium or Germany. Now, of course, we still have to be sure whether this was ISIS, could be, or Jabhat Fatah al-Sham. It could be a completely different entity altogether. But if it is one of these groups, it is then following up on what they've been talking about in terms of their online propaganda, and they're now trying to fulfill it by using acts of violence and terrorism.
All right, we'll leave it there. Sajjan Gohel, as always, sir, a pleasure. Thank you so much.